This video is about courtship and parenting. We're going to have a look at different types of behaviour that animals show when choosing a mate and the different mating strategies that they choose. Also going to have a look at how different animals care for their young in the wild. The first thing we're going to have a look then is what behaviour actually means. So nice and simply, when we talk about behaviour, we're talking about how an animal responds to any external stimuli. And by external stimuli I mean something that's happening outside of the body. A couple of examples of this then: it could be moving your hand to block the sun from your eyes, or standing on a pin and finding it painful moving your foot out of the way. Or something like getting tired and going to bed. The next thing we're going to have a look at then is what animals do when they want to find a mate. So for all animals that need to reproduce sexually, they need to find a mate in the first place. There are two things that an animal will look for when choosing a mate then. The first thing will be whether it is healthy. There's no point in it choosing an unhealthy mate because there's a good chance it could pass that bad health on to an offspring. And the second thing, it would have to be something that's well adapted to environment. So in terms of cats, it would be ones that have got stronger legs, sharper claws, and so on. So animals will use courtship to do this then. This is basically a way of saying, I'm ace, date me. So for example, peacocks, the males have bright feathers. Now these bright feathers show off to the female that they are high quality and they're good breeding material. The females don't have this. They're camouflaged, which helps them rear their young. So there are lots of different ways then that animals can attract a mate. You've seen some of these in the other videos, like songs, mating calls, insects giving off pheromones, and some of the animals actually fighting each other and the winner getting to mate. What we're going to have a look at now is different mating strategies and what animals do once they've actually mated. So some animals, mainly birds and humans, stay with just one mate throughout their lifetime, and this is called monogamy. It's pretty rare for this to happen in the rest of the animal kingdom. Other animals, such as robins, will only pair up during breeding season. So, for example, they'll find a mate during that breeding season, and then the following year they'll find someone else and breed again. The third and final different mating strategy that you need to know then, so this happens in deers and in particular in lions, is that some animal species you have one dominant male and a group of females that all breed with that male. This can happen every breeding season like in deer, but with lions, and more often than not, they will remain together over the years in a pack. The final section of this video then is going to have a look at how animals care for their young. Now this is usually done until the animals are well enough and old enough to look after themselves. So there are three different ways that you need to know about. The first one is for protection. So this means the mother or father staying around and protecting the youngster from predators. The second one is feeding. So usually this involves both the father and the mother. The mother will stay with the baby and the father will go out and get food, or vice versa. And then the third and final one is teaching skills. So certain behaviours, as you've seen in some of the other videos, are innate, but other skills need to be taught, and the parents will teach these skills to the child. This can be anything from humans teaching babies how to get dressed or eat with a knife and fork, or for birds such as oyster catchers teaching their young to open mussels with their beaks. Now the whole reason that animals do this is to increase the chance of survival for their species. So for example, 25% of eggs survive for birds, which is a lot more than in the rest of the animal kingdom. There are obviously some downsides to this though. For example, pregnant animals, there's more chance of predators catching them, so there's more chance of the mother dying. And especially if they're looking after the animals, they're going to be a lot more defensive, which means there's more chance of them getting killed.